Hello everyone and welcome back to KORR Monsters. This time we are in Detroit, Michigan for the start of the 2007 season. Our field of trucks for this event starts off with Todd Yates and Doggone Crazy. Then we'll have Nico Brock and Grim Fate. Rookie driver Jack Palmer debuting a second Howler. Harper Ray debuting his new truck Line-X Defender. Two-time Freestyle champion Opal Baxter and Reckless Red. Joe Montgomery bringing out Snow Problem. Will Baldwin bringing out Snowcat. 2005 racing champion Kinsley Parks in Sunoco. Two-time freestyle champion Jack Schroeder in Try Me. Then we'll have new driver for Warlord Toby Miller making his debut in that truck. Then another swap, we have Curtis Sparks making his return here in KORR Monsters driving Wildcat. And then once again, rounding out our field, another return, Henry Gibbons making his return here in his new truck, Youngblood. Now, a bit of an update to the racing bracket for this year. Our first 4 trucks in the random seed will be moving on into round number 2, and then the remaining 8 trucks will be battling it out in round 1. So our 4 trucks getting the bye run here are going to be Howler, Doggone Crazy, Snow Problem, and Youngblood getting the bye into the second round. As for our round 1 matchups, we'll see Snowcat going up against Grim Fate, Sunoco going up against Wildcat, Try Me going up against Warlord, and then we'll end off round 1 of racing with Reckless Red going up against Line-X Defender. Now for our first race here in round number 1, Snowcat going up against Grim Fate. Snowcat nails the light, Grim Fate sleeping on it a little bit. Coming around this first turn, Grim Fate pretty wide, Snowcat already about a truck and a half advantage. Coming around the final turn, and it looks like it's going to be all Snowcat moving on into round number 2 here, as Grim Fate just not quite fast enough to keep up with that Hemi-powered cat. Next up, Sunoco going up against Wildcat, waiting on that green light, and this time it's Sunoco getting the jump. Going around the first turn here, looks pretty close so far, maybe a slight advantage to Wildcat, despite the late start coming around the final turn. Oh, Sunoco's going to spin out. It's going to be Wildcat picking up the win, moving on into round number 2, as Kinsley Parks is all over the place. Next up, Try Me versus Warlord. Waiting on that green light. Good start from both trucks, leaving almost identically. Coming around the first jump, and it's going to be Try Me with about a truck advantage. Coming around the final turn here. Warlord making it close, but it's going to be Try Me picking up the win going into round number 2. As now for our last race here, round number 1, Reckless Red going up against that brand new Line-X Defender. And Line-X Defender, great jump off the line. However, you cannot sleep on Reckless Red, multiple time winner, one of the winningest trucks here in KORR Monsters. Coming around the final turn, who's it going to be? It looks like it's going to be Defender picking up the win just barely over Opal Baxter and Reckless Red. As now we move on to round number 2 of racing, it'll be Howler going up against Snowcat, Doggone Crazy going up against Wildcat, Snow Problem going up against Try Me, and then we'll have Youngblood going up against Line-X Defender. Here we go, first race of round number 2. Howler on the left, Snowcat on the right, waiting on the green, and away they go. Remember, this is a rookie driver in Howler. First time we're seeing them, and first time they're seeing a stadium this big. And so far, they're taking it to that cat, even at the halfway point, but it looks like they're going to go wide in the turn. Going to open the door wide for Snowcat, who's going to pick up the win, go into the semifinals. So now we move on to our next race. Doggone Crazy going up against Wildcat. Good start from both trucks. Coming around the turn. Good turns from both trucks. And they're even at the halfway point coming around the final turn. Who is it going to be? Wildcat hits a pole. Wildcat wins the race but gets a penalty. It'll be Doggone Crazy moving on into the semifinals. As next up we have Snow Problem going up against Try Me. Ooh, Snow Problem. Joe Montgomery might have just got the jump on Jack there. But huge trouble in the turn. That truck's not wanting to turn at all, as Try Me is ahead by a significant margin, getting a very easy win into the next round. Almost got a penalty on that jump. but it'll be Jack Schroeder and Try Me moving on to the next round, as now we get a look at Youngblood going up against the Line X Defender, pair of brand new trucks. In more ways than one, brand new Toyota Tundra versus a brand new Ford Super Duty. Coming around here for the final turn. Good race so far. At the line, it's going to be Line X Defender by maybe half a wheel getting the win over Youngblood. Good fast race there. But we take a look at our semifinal matchups. It's going to be Snowcat versus Doggone Crazy and Try Me versus Line X Defender. First race of the semifinal, Snowcat versus Doggone Crazy. Good off the line for both trucks. Snowcat looks like having a little bit of trouble in the turns. It's an even race so far despite the mistake. Doggone Crazy, nice tight turn. Snowcat getting a run, but it's going to be Doggone Crazy picking up the win going into the racing final. Can Try Me, his teammate, meet him in the finals, or will it be the Line X Defender, the brand new truck? Off the line, so far so good. Try Me going wide, but has the advantage right now coming around the final turn. Line X keeps it tight. Try Me almost hits the containers. It'll be Line X Defender picking up the win, meeting Doggone Crazy in the finals here. It's been quite a while since we've seen Doggone Crazy in the finals, and Line X Defender's going to the finals in its first ever show. Both these trucks on the line waiting for the green light, and away they go. Into the first turn. Good turns from both trucks. Doggone Crazy maybe a little bit of an advantage. Into the final turn. Who's it gonna be? Coming to the line. Great turns from both trucks. And it's gonna be Line X Defender by a bumper beating out Doggone Crazy for the racing win here in Detroit. As now we take a look at our freestyle order, we'll be starting off with Youngblood. Then we'll have Warlord, then Howler, Snow Problem, Wildcat, Grim Fate, Snowcat, Doggone Crazy, our racing winner, Line X Defender, Sunoco, and then our two freestyle champions, Try Me and Reckless Red, will end us off. First truck out, Youngblood, driven by Henry Gibbons. First freestyle we're seeing for this brand new truck. Henry, of course, used to be the driver of Flying High. That truck destroyed in a fire not long after the last time we saw it. Built a brand new piece for this year. So far, so good. It looked fast in racing, didn't get the win in its first race. But looking at the times from that race, it was some of the fastest times of the entire event. As Henry a little rusty, but not afraid to get the big air. Nice big jump off that mountain. Now we're getting some donuts for the first time here tonight. About halfway through this run. It's a good run so far to start us off. Some more great air off that racing lane for Henry. And now looks like, no, we're not getting more donuts. Just spun it out there a little bit. Last 25 seconds of the run. Gets a great sky wheelie off the blue lane. A little bit of an issue turning the truck there. It looks like he's going to go over that elevated bus stack. Great hit off that. That's probably the biggest obstacle Henry's ever seen. And time for one more hit. Gonna go for a slap wheelie maybe? Yes, he is. And a good little slap wheelie. Had to put it down so he didn't get into trouble. Still got into a little bit of trouble, but recovered it. As Henry Gibbons gonna go into some more donuts here in the center of the floor in the debut run here on KORR Monsters for his new truck, Youngblood. And he's gonna wrap him up here pretty quick, I have to imagine, and yes, he is. It's gonna be a 22 for Henry Gibbons in Youngblood. Not a bad score to start us off, as now we have Toby Miller making his freestyle debut here in Warlord. Saw him in Wildcat in years past. Got the opportunity to drive this truck from Axel Weber as he wanted to step away from driving, but wanted the truck to still compete. So now, Toby Miller, brand new driver of Warlord, starting us off. Good momentum so far. Not a lot of air, but getting quite a few hits in. As I say that, he gets some pretty good air off that racing lane into a little bit of a slap wheelie. And it looks like he's going to back up here. Judges are supposed to take a point or so off for that. But gets some good air off that blue van stack. I think he wanted a slap wheelie, but just got too much air and not enough of the right kind of bounce coming off of it. Gonna go for another one here on the yellow stack. Nails it. Truck not quite enough power to get the wheelie all the way up, however. As we get some donuts here with 25 seconds left on the clock. Now lining up for a sky wheelie. Oh, goes past vertical. Truck stays on all four wheels, luckily. Tailgate's gone on that truck now. Time for maybe one more hit. He's going to go for another sky wheelie here on the red lane. Not quite as vertical. And he's going to get an 18 from the judges. As next up, we have Jack Palmer bringing out Howler. As you can see, the score to beat so far is a 22 for Youngblood. Starts us off with a great sky wheelie on that red lane, almost identical to what we just saw Warlord do. And then right after that, blue stack gets another slap wheelie off of it. Coming around here looking for his next hit. Gets some great air off the dirt ramps on the side. Jack Palmer, a rookie, but not afraid of these obstacles. More great air off those dirt ramps on the side. Going for another slap wheelie. Thought better of it. Good decision there. Huge sky wheelie off the red lane. And it looks like the truck's going to shut off on him. Probably hit that switch in the back. Gets the truck refired. Last 30 seconds of the run. Looks like the front sway bar inverted itself at some point. As he gets some great air off that dirt mountain. A little bit of a lull here after that shutoff. Gets some good air off the blue lane. Almost gets into trouble there. This might be his last hit. He might get another one. He's had good momentum in this run. And puts it on the tailgate. Walks the dog across the floor. And he's going to park it there. It's going to be a 22 for Jack Palmer and a Howler. As next up, Joe Montgomery brings out Snow Problem. Joe, not the result he was looking for in racing that truck, not wanting to turn, but it's going to go into a great wheelie across the floor here to start off Freestyle. Goes over the blue stack the other direction. We haven't seen that one yet. Line up for his next hit. Gets some pretty decent air off the red lane. Joe looking for that next hit. Great air on the backside of the red lane. Lands it hard on the left rear. Could have bent something, but the truck looks like it's fine. Now going to go for a sky wheelie on the blue lane. Nice vertical sky wheelie. Loses the tailgate on the truck, but that's no big problem. As we get some donuts here. About 40 seconds left on the clock when he started them. It's a good couple of rotations and then right into that yellow van stack, into another slap wheelie. Puts it down pretty quick and gets another good hit on the back of the red lane. As Joe Montgomery wants this freestyle win. Get some good air off that mountain. Time for one or two more hits here from Joe. It looks like he's going to air it out off the blue lane. And I don't know if he's going to have time for another hit. And it doesn't look like he's going to, but the judges might be nice and score this one. Get some good air off that dirt ramp. A little bit of a slap wheelie, and it looks like he's going to call it there. It's going to be a 23 for Joe Montgomery and Snow Problem. Good enough to take the lead, as now we have Curtis Sparks making his KORR Monsters return here in Wildcat. Used to be the driver of high voltage back in 2000, 2001. Now back with Fast Cat Racing, Will Baldwin's team. So far, good start to the run. Hasn't seen obstacles anywhere near this big pretty much ever. So we'll have to see if he's afraid of those two big obstacles. So far, no problem hitting the smaller stuff. Going for a sky wheelie. Nice and vertical, rips the back of the bodywork off. About halfway through this run, good momentum so far. Driving like he hasn't missed a day of this. Last 30 seconds of the run here coming up. It's a good run from Curtis so far, but we have to see him hit something bigger. It looks like he's going to go after the bus stack as I say it. Just going to roll over it. Hard landing, though. I can't say I blame him for being scared of that. Oh, he smacks the container. Going for another slap wheel here on the blue stack. Oh, he gets tripped up by the mountain, and he's going to save it. Great save there from Curtis Sparks right as time expires. And now he's going to go get another hit on the blue lane. Going to keep on going here for the fans, as we get some donuts here out of him. That's going to be just a couple of rotations. He's going to take the lead with a 24, however. As next up, Nico Brock bringing out Grim Fate. Updated design on the truck for this year. Looking pretty good with that black camo on it. Starting us off, good couple of hits on the racing lanes. Of course, Nico and Grim Fate, part of Team Try Me. Some of the craziest freestyles you're ever going to see are out of this team. And this team loves to cross up these big obstacles, so it's not a matter of if we see it out of him. It's a matter of when. Provided the truck stays on all fours, he launches it on the backside of the racing lane. Huge air off of that. Speaking of the cross thread, here it comes over the bus stack. Doesn't even touch any vehicle on that stack. Cleared it by a mile. Nico Brock not afraid of pretty much anything. Goes for donuts, hits the blue van, and looks like he's going to have to give up on him due to the spot that he's in. 20 seconds left in the run. This is a great run from Nico. Should definitely take the lead in my opinion, but we'll have to see what the judges think as he gets some more great air over that bus stack. Clipped it on the way down. Last couple of seconds here. Looks like he's going to go into donuts. Make that some cyclones. And he's going to go up and over. It's going to be a 26 for Nico Brock and Grim Fate. As next up, we're going to have Will Baldwin bringing out Snowcat. Saw his teammate a couple of trucks ago. And some good air to start off from Will. Getting some good air on that blue lane. I think you want a slap wheelie. Not the landing you need for one, though. As he gets a good sky wheelie on the back of the blue lane, but nowhere near as good as we were seeing out of the first few trucks. As these obstacles get beat down, it's going to be harder and harder to do a good sky wheelie off of them. Now Will getting some good air off that dirt mountain. About halfway through the run, getting some cyclones right at the entrance to the track. This is a good run from Will so far. I'm not sure if it's going to contend for the lead or not, however. Momentum lacking a little bit. and not quite the wow factor we saw out of Grim Fate. As he crosses up the track there a little bit. Looking for that next hit. Goes for a slap wheelie up onto two wheels, and he's going to recover it. Not quite as wild as a save as we saw out of Wildcat, but still a pretty good save as he launches it off that blue lane. Now backside of that blue stack, it looks like he's going to call it there. It's going to be a 25 for Will Baldwin and Snowcat. Not quite enough to take the lead, as now Todd Yates brings out Doggone Crazy. Always a threat for the freestyle win. Saw him almost get a racing win. But if there's one thing we know about Todd, he's going to do an amazing 1 minute freestyle. But these freestyle runs are a minute and a half. If he can fill it, he might have a good chance of winning. So far, momentum is insane in this run. As Todd stands on this loud pedal, he's going to cross up the mountain. Got into a little bit of trouble, but the truck settled nicely. Great skywheel in the back of the blue lane. Todd Yates not afraid of anything. As now he takes his turn clearing the entire bus stack and combos it up with a backside hit on the mountain. Todd Yates, even as is, this run could contend for the lead, even if he turns it over right now. 30 seconds left in the run. Truck's still on all four wheels. Nico Brock is sweating in that hot seat. Going into some donuts here for Todd Yates. Look at the momentum on those. Great set of cyclones from Todd Yates. Couple of seconds left, time for one more hit. He's gonna go after the bus stack sideways. Dead vertical in the air, up and over. He's gonna go and lands it back on all four wheels. Todd Yates. What an exclamation point to end the run. Up and over. He's gonna go on the mountain. It's gonna be a perfect 30 for Todd Yates and Doggone Crazy. What a run we just witnessed. As now Harper Ray brings out Linex Defender. Looking at that, he's gonna go, how am I supposed to beat that? Well, the answer is you can't. It was a perfect score. Best you can do is tie it and hope to bring home part of the trophy. He's already got the racing trophy, so he's leaving here with something. As he goes for a slap wheelie here, he's going to think better of it. As he gets some more good air off the back of the red lane, as there's a camper out here now. Have to think he's going to go for that. But Harper out here, brand new truck, and a brand new tire. It's a China-style tire, they're calling it. Started to become noticed last year by a few teams. They tried it out, and so far it's looking pretty good for pretty much everyone has tried it. As Harper Ray launches it off that dirt ramp. I can't believe he got that much air off of that. As now he's going to almost clear the bus stack. Huge wheelie coming off of it up onto one wheel, and he's going to save it. With 20 seconds left in the run, Harper Ray going for that tie. Little bit of a backup there that probably going to cost him, but the camper hit might get him those points back. As he saves it once again. Time for one, maybe two more hits. Little bit of a combo there, hitting the racing ramp crooked. Climbs over the bus stack. Time's expired now. All the rest of this is just for the fans. And he's going to save it once again. What's the score going to be if he ever stops? As he gets some good air off that dirt mountain. And looks like he's going to call it there. It's going to be a 28 for Harper Ray and Linex Defender. Not enough for the lead, but enough for second. As now Kinsley Parks, our third to last truck out, brings out Sunoco Race Fuels. Kinsley, mostly known for her wild moments in freestyle, but she does have that racing championship. She's no slouch in racing. And she's also not a slouch here in freestyle. Of course, had that breakout freestyle run in Howler a couple of years ago, and I believe Houston. Lined her up for this seat, and Sunoco, great sky wheelie up, and she's gonna save it. Yes, she is. Great save there from Kinsley Parks. Huge air on the backside of the red lane. Kinsley, no slouch in this chassis. Brand new last year, and she's been loving it ever since she got it. Awkward hit on the bus stack, but she's going to keep on going. 27 seconds left. She's going to steal a page out of Team Try Me. Cross thread on the bus stack, up and over. She's going to go. She's going to save it. Phenomenal save from Kinsley Parks. As that hood's now knocked up on the truck, it's going to affect her vision. Huge air off that yellow stack. And now launches it on the backside of the mountain. Fantastic run from Kinsley Parks. That could be enough to tie for the lead. It's definitely going to be close. Oh, up and over. She's finally going to go here. It's going to be a 29, so not enough to take the lead away from Todd Yates and Doggone Crazy. But if anyone can beat Doggone Crazy, it's going to be Jack Schroeder and Try Me, his teammate. Starts this off, great air on the racing ramp. And now more great air off the mountain. Going for a slap wheelie off the yellow stack. Not going to get one. Truck did not like that landing. As he's searching around for more hits, gets some good air on the backside of that blue lane. And he's slowing down a little bit. Looks like he's got something in mind. He's going to launch it off that bus stack. Over in the air he goes, lands it hard on the roof. It's going to be a 21 after filling half the run. Have to hope he's okay with how hard that landing was. As now we're down to our last truck, Opal Baxter, Reckless Red. Starting us off, huge air on the back of the red lane. Can she tie Doggone Crazy, or is Todd Yates gonna get a trophy all to himself? So far, good start. Little lacking in momentum. We normally see a lot more momentum from Opal. Have to think she might have something in mind for later in the run. So far, not a bad start, just not very Opal-like. She launches it off that dirt ramp. Looking like she's going to start picking it up now. Clears the bus stack. Ooh, hard into the mountain. Very similar hit to what Todd Yates did. As now it looks like she's going to go through that camper. Coming down to the last 30 seconds of this run. Oh, tripped up by that bus stack a little bit there. Opal Baxter giving us a good run, but I don't think it's going to be enough to maybe even make the top 3. So we get some donuts out of her here. Just a few seconds left in this run. Time for 1, maybe 2 more hits. Now she launches it off the mountain, lands it at the base of the bus stack, up and over she goes, almost does a backflip. But it's going to be a 25 for Opal Baxter to end us off, which means Todd Yates and Doggone Crazy is your freestyle winner here in Detroit, followed by Sunoco with a 29, and then Linux Defender with a 28. After that, we got Grim Fate with a 26, Snowcat and Reckless Red with a 25, Wildcat with a 24, Snow Problem with a 23, Youngblood and Howler with a 22, Try Me with a 21, and then rounding out the field we have Warlord with an 18. I have to say this has definitely been a great show to start off the 2007 season. A lot of new faces, a lot of new trucks, and a lot of familiar faces in new places. But as always, be sure to follow us on Instagram to keep up to date with everything going on behind the scenes. And as always, we hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We'll see you then.